badly missed the national housing bubble. That does not necessarily make them duplicitous. It doesn't necessarily make them incompetent. It just makes them wrong, very, very wrong. It is also a painful, inexpensive reminder that there is no substitute for some modicum of investor due diligence and personal responsibility. Now, there is a sincere bipartisan desire for credit rating agency reform in this committee. Unfortunately, I believe the draft that is before us now falls short. Now, there are a number of good provisions in the draft, in Chairman Kanjorski's draft, including essentially removing the NRSRO designation from current statute and regulation. Unfortunately, the bill also includes provisions that will allow new liability exposure, including joint liability for the rating agencies. I feel that these sections will actually increase barriers to entry in the rating market and make it more difficult to have competition. An increase in lawsuits will become, I believe, an insurmountable barrier to competition. The joint liability provision especially troubles me. To make every rating agency potentially liable for the ratings of other agencies, I don't see the parallel anywhere else in our body of law. I heard someone say that that's a little like making Ford liable for a defective car manufactured by GM and then not giving Ford a chance to defend themselves. No nation can sue its way into economic recovery and financial stability. Increasing the agency's liability does not get at the root of the problem, which is the de facto government stamp of approval behind the rating agency's work product. That is indeed where we need to go. People assume wrongly that the government stamp of approval meant accurate ratings. Congress took a good step with the Credit Rating Agency Reform Act, but it was too little, too late. Again, there's a vitally important lesson we have all learned about implied government backing. And so I want to compliment the chairman and the ranking member for having a bill before us that would essentially terminate the NRSRO designation, but unless we eliminate all barriers to entry, I am fearful that it is all for naught. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back the balance of my time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hensarling. Now hear from the gentle lady from Ohio, Ms. Kilroy, for 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for your leadership on this issue and for the opportunity to work with you and the task force on this very important issue. Credit rating agencies occupy a unique and powerful position within the global markets, and reforming this industry is a critical part of strengthening our financial regulatory system. Like many of my House colleagues, I have firsthand experience with the role credit rating agencies play as gatekeepers to the financial markets. Before coming to this House, I served for 8 years as a Franklin County Commissioner and also for 8 years on the Columbus Board of Education, representing constituents of Central Ohio. And as a county commissioner, worked very hard to make our county fiscally responsible and to maintain our double, triple A rating. It's a rating that we worked hard to keep because we thought it had meaning and value, that it represented a seal of approval, and that it would save our taxpayers their hard-earned money. Of course, as you know, the rise of credit rating agencies as financial gatekeepers began when the Securities and Exchange Commission in '75, and what probably seemed like a benign move, tied broker-dealer capital requirements to credit ratings issued by the nationally recognized statistical rating organization, a designation created and determined by the SEC.